Hey guys, what's up? And it's time for my March wrap up. Okay, so March was a much better reading month for me than February was. We will not talk about February. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about the books. There's at least one book that I can't talk about because it's going to be in a future vlog. So for this month, I read 8 books, which is pretty normal for me. I usually read around 8 books. Let's get into it. So the first book that I read and finished this month was How to Find a Princess by Alyssa Cole, and I have a reading vlog up about this one. I will not tell you my thoughts on it. I will link it up in the cards, whichever one it's on. But yeah, I read this with another book that I cannot tell you about. At least my feelings about it, and I'll bring it up in a minute. But yeah, I read this one and another one for reading sapphic books for a week. How to Find a Princess is about Besnaria. No. Yes, Bez. Bez and Makita, and they kind of fall in love. Bez is trying to make her mother look better in their country by bringing home a possible royal. And so yeah, they meet. They head to the country. I don't remember what the country is called. It's the same world as How to Catch a Queen. It's in the same world as that. But yeah, I'm not going to say too much else about it. You'll just have to watch that vlog to see what my thoughts were on it. The next book I ended up finishing, which is it's an incredible feat for me. I did not think that I would finish this book, let alone enjoy it for the most part. It is From Blood and Nash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I may have dipped my toes into fantasy and kind of enjoyed this. Yeah, like I even noted some parts. But I genuinely enjoyed this, except for the last 100 pages. Once the big reveal happens, it kind of ruined it, and I will not be continuing on with the series. But I did enjoy this book enough to keep it for now. And I really, I really enjoyed it. So y'all know what this book is about. But oh my god, what's the main character's name? Poppy. So Poppy in this book, she's forced to be a maiden basically. So she's got to stay pure and all that. Well, she doesn't really want to. She wants to do her own thing. She wants to choose her own life. Well, she accidentally has this interaction with one of the guards, and so she's gonna kind of keep it hush hush so that she can still be a maiden. And so basically she's stuck in this castle for the most part because she's got to stay pure. She can't be interacting with certain people, whatever. And then things get a bit dark. There's some death that is unexplained, so they're trying to figure out who is in this town that is killing. Is it a certain creature, whatever. And so it's kind of that journey, and I enjoyed the journey for the most part. And then when the big reveal happened, which I was not expecting, I had no clue what was going on, at least behind the scenes. And oh, I was very surprised. Also, I did tear up at some of the deaths that happened because they're so sudden. You don't even have time to think or breathe, and then you're on to the next adventure. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed this book. The big reveal kind of just screwed everything up because Poppy became very, very wishy-washy. So through this entire book, Poppy is definitely a main character that knows what she wants. She takes what she wants for the most part, and she can stand up for herself. And I really, really enjoyed that part. And then after the big reveal, she becomes very wishy-washy and does not know her right from her left, basically. And she has no idea what she wants. And it's just like weird. It doesn't make any sense. Like, someone who is so strong-willed should not turn into that when things get rough. It doesn't make any sense. So that's what I really didn't like. I will take this as a win. I gave it 3 stars just because that last part I really did not enjoy. But still a surprise for me, to be honest. Was not expecting to enjoy this book even a little bit. The next book I ended up reading was the second book for that reading vlog, reading sapphic books for a week, and it was Last Night at the Telegraph Club. I no longer have it, so that may give you a hint on my thoughts about it, but that's okay. We can't have all winners. But this is a historical fiction about these 2 girls who are coming into their own during the 1950s, especially during the Red Scare. And so they're kind of put into this world where they can't be themselves. They have to go to underground clubs to be open about their sexuality. If you want to know more of my thoughts about this book, just go check out that vlog. The next book I read was it was like a novella type thing, and it was called Trapped by My Stepbrothers. I wanted like a short read, and this was on Scribd, and I like short erotic books. There's basically no substance to them, but they're enjoyable. This one I usually do not like. Usually erotic incest novels or novellas are not for me. They make me super uncomfortable. This one surprisingly didn't. I don't know why. I don't know if my tastes are changing or what. But yeah, this was fine. I gave it 3 stars. It's the title says it all. They get trapped because there's a tornado, so they're trapped in this like tornado shelter, and it's just the 2 stepbrothers and their stepsister, and things ensue. That's exactly what happens. The next book I read was The Curious Instinct of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon. I gave this book 3 stars, and I enjoyed it. I listened to the audiobook, and I highly recommend reading it that way or listening to it. It has a very fun narrator, and yeah, I like this book. I know there's a bunch of controversy about it. So the main character does have autism, but I thought it was pretty well done. I am unsure if this guy actually did any research on autistic people or if he had any autistic people in his life. But my sister is autistic, so I thought this rep was pretty good. I may have her read it so that she can view it from her actual perspective, so that we're actually on the same page, whether it was good or bad representation. So I may see if she would like to read this book. But I thought it was fun. There's a slight mysteries. There's several mysteries within this book. It's not just about a dead dog and who killed the dead dog, but it's also about family and dysfunctional families. And it's just about this kid who is trying to figure out his life, and he's trying to put all the pieces together on how he got to this point in his life. And yeah, it's just a nice story. It definitely reminded me of A Man Called Uwe by Frederick Bachman. That one is much more wordy and beautifully written. This one is more of just a fun time. And there are some quotes in here that are very nice. But yeah, I thought it was a fun read. There's not much to say about this book because I think I read it within 2 days because I listened to it. And it was just an enjoyable listen, an enjoyable read. And yeah, this was a fine book. Next book I read was a children's book, and it was My Mom's Love Me. I rated that one 4 stars, and yeah, it was just a very nice children's book to read, very inclusive, and growing up with 2 moms, I really wish that I had the inclusivity. So that was very refreshing. It was a cute book. I would definitely give it to my cousins, whatever, because they also have 2 moms, so it's nice. I think it's a very, very nice book, regardless if you have 2 moms, a dad and a mom, or 2 dads. I think it's a very, very cute book. The next book I read was Open Water by Caleb Azuma Nelson. This was a book I was anticipating to like a lot more than I actually did. And the only issue that I had with this book was that it was in second person. I'm aware that in the synopsis on Goodreads it says it's in second person, but I really, really had high hopes for it, and it just fell flat with me just because I could not get over the telling. It just told me what I was doing, told me what the other characters were doing, and I cannot stand that. I need dialogue. I need you to show me the world, and I just couldn't connect with it. And maybe it's because I'm not a person of color, which is understandable. There's not enough books written for people of color. So, obviously, this being in second person and dealing with the social commentary and racism and everything that this book deals with, it would make a lot of sense for someone who is a person of color. It makes sense for a person of color to identify very well with this second person point of view. So I don't think it's a bad book. I think it's very well written. Really, really enjoyed the writing of this book. The romance portion, I'm not sure I completely understood, but there are parts of this book that just went over my head completely. And listen, I'm not the smartest person sometimes, so there's probably that. It gave me, some of these parts remind me of This Is How You Lose the Time War. Is that what it is? This Is How You Lose the Time War? I read it last month, but it gave me vibes of that, where I just could not physically or mentally understand what was going on. And I think that's where the romance portion came in. I was just a bit confused at parts. I would love to go back in a few years whenever my comprehension is a little better for certain types of books, because I do read a lot of YA. I do read a lot of contemporary young adult, contemporary new adult, very, very contemporary. So I think this is more in the literary fiction realm, and I think that may be my issue. I don't have the comprehension of literary fiction because I don't read it as often. So I'd love to go back in a few years and read this book so that I could fully understand it and comprehend and be able to understand the impact of this book. Just didn't quite get it this time around. But yeah, so I ended up giving it 3 stars, but it's solely on me. Solely, writing style wasn't for me, but definitely my comprehension is not where it needs to be for me to understand literary fiction. So here's my final book that I can barely talk about. The final book I read was In 5 Years by Rebecca Surley. So In 5 Years was a very unexpected book. So it's marketed as a romance, but I'm not quite sure. I'm convinced it is a traditional romance. So this is about Danny, and she is just getting engaged to her long-term boyfriend David, and so they're trying to figure things out, and then she has this weird dream about this guy named Aaron. She's like, who is this dude? Oh, why is he in my dreams? I just got engaged. Like, what is happening? So this creates a whirlwind of emotions for Danny, and she starts re-looking at her life and trying to figure out what she actually wants. Does she want to actually get married to David? Does she want to get married at all? Does she want to travel? Does she want to continue being a lawyer? Like, what does she want to do? This whole book is about self-discovery, and where Danny wants to land in life. This book is also about mortality and how you don't know how long you have left in this life. And yeah, choose wisely on what you do, and maybe freedom is a little bit better than being tied down. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, that's basically what this book is about. And I'm gonna try not to talk about my feelings about this book. So the vlog 4 in 5 years, and there's 2 other books in that reading vlog, should be up next week. So stay tuned for that. I'm very excited for that video. It's a fun one. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know down in the comments below how your March reading month went. And if you have read any of these books in the past, what are your thoughts on them? I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.